Welcome back to Sean Show, everyone. I'm here with George. I hope you're having an excellent week. It's Jeffrey Epstein week, everyone. Everyone's favorite innocent man is back in the news. Everyone is out there, and I'm just gonna say it up front. I have sort of a different take. You listen to this show because I have a different take, from other people. And I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I'm just gonna say it. With regard to Jeffrey Epstein, I happen to think that he's guilty. I happen to think that Jeffrey Epstein is guilty of the crimes that he is charged with. And, well, he's dead. So I guess he's been judged already. Let's put it that way. But I happen to think that he's guilty. Now, I know that's an unpopular take, but I have to come out and say it. This show is about the truth. And there's a lot coming out about this gentleman who is deceased. Now, the MAGA movement is in shambles right now, trying to simultaneously process that their God is a pedophile. Their God, imagine you wake up. That's really the magnitude of what's happening here, people, is that if you're a Trump supporter, if you're a diehard Trump supporter and you followed this guy for almost 10 years at this point in his political career, right? Counting a 4-year break for the stolen election that you believe in. And now he's back and, he's going to make America great again. And you wake up one day and you suddenly realize that your God fucks kids. And that is what's going on in that movement right now. Now, as a detached centrist white guy in Brooklyn who's never voted, I've always known that every politician's a pedophile. This is not a surprise. If it's a surprise to you that Donald Trump is a pedophile, you need to get your brain looked at. If it's a surprise, this is common. This is third grade shit. This is third grade shit. And it just goes to show how delusional people have become. It really goes to show how effective propaganda is at, people need a God. And I've said this before. People need a God. They need someone to believe in and trust. And people need someone to look at and be like, hey, maybe there's hope. People need hope. And when you find out that your hope was on Little St. James, it's not good. It's a very bad look. Now, there is one video I want to do, George. I forgot. I think there's one video on that. Let's start with that. So it's a Pam Bondi, the AG Pam Bondi has gone is in the crosshairs right now because this is from about 6 days ago, so it's a little behind on the story. We're gonna get to the most up to date stuff, guys. But this video is crazy because what this video is Trump and Pam Bondi taking questions about Epstein and trying to explain the list, right? Because the list is something that, their story about the list changes every minute. It changes every. I'm a science guy. It changes every what's smaller than a nanosecond? I mean, it changes every femtosecond. I believe it's a Planck time. Planck, Planck, our friend. He's a scientist. Planck, I don't know his first name. He probably committed suicide. Every good scientist has committed suicide. My favorite meme, this is not my joke, but it's it's this introductory sentence to a statistical mechanics textbook, and it's this one mathematician set the foundation for statistical mechanics and died by his own hand in 1912. The work was further continued by this other scientist who killed himself, similarly committed suicide 20 years later. Now it is our turn to study statistical mechanics. So that's a little bit of a tangent, but a Planck time, I don't even know if that's what it is. I failed this part of the class, but a Planck time is the shortest duration of time. It's like comparatively 1 second is like an eon, right? And a Planck time is how often, that's actually longer. Donald Trump's changing the story about Jeffrey Epstein in the list more often than is physically possible in the universe. He is actually breaking the laws of quantum mechanics. That's how often he's changing the story. He goes, the list isn't real. Obama made the list. The CIA killed the list. The list is on my desk. The list is on Pam Bondi's desk. The list is in my asshole. And it's just like, what? What? So people just want the truth. And these reporters are asking Trump and Pam Bondi for the truth. So let's take a look at how they're managing. And I guess, before we jump into it, I just want to set the stage. Like, people are like, why is this important? Why is it important to me? Why should I care? Why should I care about the Epstein list? Why is it even worth talking about? And for me, what really is the motivating factor for even addressing it on my very popular, very important show that I do for you 12 people is that it's ultimately, I honestly don't think it's important. So we're not going to, I was trying to think about like, why do I think the Epstein list is important? Why is the media focusing so hard on it? Because, and what I'm thinking through it right now. The basis, this story, what this story is showing people is that so many people are stupid and they trust politicians. That's really what I'm trying to get at here, is like the framing of this list is like Trump has betrayed his base. He lied. Trump lied. And he lied. Can you believe the guy that fucks kids lied about it? Wait a minute. I would hope that if you fucked kids, you'd at least tell people. Is that what we're supposed to? That's kind of the narrative that's going. Is like, not only is Donald Trump a pedophile, he's also concealing that. It's like, okay, yeah, yes, that's not. But so many people just love this guy. They love this guy, and I actually am. I don't know if I'm. This is a show for nerds. If you guys watch Rick and Morty, there's a very good Rick and Morty episode that's weirdly relevant to this. It's the jelly bean episode. I don't know if you guys remember this one. It was when Rick and Morty go to like some fantastical land. Basically, Rick always takes Morty on an adventure where they like go to cyberspace and like, go to like the Matrix and like kill a demon or some shit. And Morty was like, can't we do like a fun, silly adventure that's more like a D&D campaign? So they go to like this magical land, and then Morty runs into like this tavern and like, it's really, I mean, hey, I'm a Rick and Morty Reddit asshole. I'm sorry, that's who I am. I'm not going to deny it. Morty goes into this tavern and runs into this King Jellybean, who takes Morty into the bathroom and, tries to assault Morty. And at the end of it's very dark. And at the end of the episode, where they kill the Jellybean, and these two guys they discover evidence that the Jellybean was a pedophile. And these two guys are like, they're holding the last evidence. This is the Epstein list. It's Donald Trump is King Jellybean from Rick and Morty. They're holding the evidence of like him fucking kids or whatever it is in the show. And they're like, should we tell everyone about this? And the other guy goes, he grabs it, he throws it into like the fire or whatever. And he goes, it doesn't matter who he was. What matters is who people thought he was. And now that is old. And I went on that tangent for that nugget of truth. It doesn't matter. That's one way to look at this. It doesn't matter who Trump is. What matters is what people thought he was, what people think he is. So that's why this matters. The reason this matters is because whether or not he's a pedophile, it really doesn't matter at this point. I tell that to the victims of Epstein. I go, whether or not it's true doesn't matter. But what matters culturally, what matters for us Americans, people, is that if this comes out, this is bigger than just the list. It's bigger than just whether or not he did it is almost a moot point. It doesn't really matter. What matters is what it's going to do for the MAGA movement, in my opinion. So let's take a look at this video and let's see how they're trying to manage the crisis. It's a crisis.
Your memo and release yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of his death?
Can you pause it, George? Before we even get to the answer, let's just make one thing clear. Everyone in that room is an intelligence agent. Everyone in that room is funded by an intelligence agency, okay? It's a question of which one that they're funded by, okay? Yeah, the reporter is Mossad, okay? Let's I know we're gonna focus on Trump and Pam Bondi, but let's not forget that all of those reporters are read one page about the CIA. Read one page of information about the CIA. Just Google CIA news media financing, and I will not sound crazy to you. Okay, so let's make one thing clear: the CIA finances. I'm not Alex Jones. This is a comedy show. I am not that man. I want to make one thing clear before I continue. The Sandy Hook school shooting was a tragedy that happened. Okay? Earth is round. Before I continue with my discourse, okay, I really do have to say this. Before I continue with my discourse on Jeffrey Epstein, the earth is round. The Jews do not run the media. Cut that one out. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding. Earth is round. Intelligence is not based on race. Number 3, what else is out there? There's no such thing as a Jewish space laser. It's actually Irish. I'm Irish. The space laser is Irish. People are unassuming of us because everything's Irish or drunks, but it's actually Irish are very smart. A lot of them are chemists and physicists. We made the space laser. Okay, it's actually white Protestant Irishmen that control everything. That's the crazy thing. Is like when you look at me, look at my face. If you're just listening, I'm a pasty white pale ghost. Okay, my name is Sean Riley. Guys like me that are 10 years older are in every boardroom in America. Okay, and yeah, there's some Goldsteins, and yeah, there are some. There's also some Xiaopings, but it's mostly Sean Rileys. It's mostly Kyles and Tylers. How could you say that the Jews control everything when it's Kyles and Tylers? Kyle and Tyler and Tyler and Tyler and Kyler. Kyle and Tyler, like, let's make that a slur. It sounds like Kyler sounds like a slur. Kyler with a hard R. I hit that Kyler with a hard R. Kyla. And some Kaylas in HR. But like, okay, but before I continue, there are things that I believe that are probably unpopular in terms of government and whatever, but whenever you talk about Jeffrey Epstein, it's very easy to make the leap and start connecting it to all of these other conspiracy theories that are rooted in anti-Semitism and racism. And it's very important to note, and I'm an equal opportunity conspiracy theorist. Anyone, any human being, this is the beauty of what I believe, okay? I believe in the equality of every human being and the potential for every human being to be a corrupt billionaire pedophile. I believe people of all shades and stripes and colors, doesn't matter where you were born, doesn't matter what your name is, doesn't matter what your religion is. If you work hard, you can be a pedophile. You can be a billionaire pedophile too. So this ring, this Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell pedophile ring, it was actually probably very diverse. And that's something we can all, that's kind of a silver lining. It's kind of a silver lining. The people that went to Epstein's Island, probably from all different creeds, but they have one thing in common, which is that they're all jovial. All right, that was just a joke. Okay, now let's. So the reporter goes, "Is Epstein in?" Basically, the reporter was saying, "Is Epstein in Mossad?" Which is the Israeli intelligence agency. And let's see what Trump and Bondi say.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking.
By you!
We have Texas.
By
we have
you!
This, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep?
Yes.
That is unbelievable.
Is it?
Do you want to waste the time? And do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're
having
bad. Some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child.
Hey, while we're at it, release the JFK files. While we're at it, you know what's so funny? People aren't even we are so. These politicians are, and they are so like. They just don't like. We are so normal people are so used to getting lied and to getting fucked by politicians that we just like we just forget. Just forget. Let's move on. That's what they want you to do. They want to at the very least condone and endorse, and at the very worst take part in crazy tragedies, crazy pedophile, whatever it may be. It could be war, unsanctioned wars, genocide, right? They want to do all these things because they love power and they're part of this apparatus that pushes those things forward. And they are okay with that as long as they get money and power, right? Now, and they want us to all just to move on. So Pam goes, so he goes, where's the list? So she goes, when I said I have the list, here's what she said. She goes, when I said I have the list on my desk, I didn't mean that at all. I meant I have the file on my desk, which is not the same as the list. The file, hey, maybe Pam's right. Maybe we're all fucking stupid. Maybe we are all stupid. I'm sorry, Pam. I'm sorry. Hey, Pam, you're right. My bad. The file is not the list. The file is empty. She's like, when I said I have the list on my desk, I didn't mean, I burned the list. I meant the empty manila folder with the word Jeffrey Epstein on it. That's what's on my desk. Of course I burned the list. And she goes, I have it on my desk. I have the Epstein list. I have the Epstein file on my desk. I have the JFK and the MLK files on my desk. What about those? What about those? Release the MLK files. Here's the reality. The CIA probably killed MLK, and they probably were involved in JFK's assassination too. I don't know. Maybe. I would like to find out, but we're never going to find out. And we're never going to get the... Here's the thing, folks. And you can correct me if I might eat my words in a week or two. But I have a feeling that we're not going to get the Epstein list. I have a feeling. You want to know why? Because I sent out some messages, and I'm going to make for fucking sure it doesn't come out. Because I know some people on that list. As a media influencer, I cannot allow that list to come out. It would be so shitty to like share a name with someone whose name is on that list. Imagine you're like a normal Pam, like, I don't know, Donald Trump. Well, sharing a name with him would be crazy for other reasons. But no, it's the deflection by the Attorney General Pam Bondi is fucking crazy. The deflection and the idea that like she's, you know, like we're wrong. That's what this is. We're wrong. She's like, I did the interview and I said I had the list, but I didn't mean the list. That's, you know what this is? This is just like at my job when I go, here's a good metaphor for this. And I know what she's doing. Because I've done it before. Not fucked kids, but I've done what she's doing before in a non-pedophile context. So sometimes I'll get an email, and so let's say I'm working on a project. Let's say I'm working on a project at my job. Okay? And I have said that I've been working on the project. Okay? People email me, they go, how's the project coming, Sean? I go, it's coming along great. The project is moving. The project is moving along smoothly. And then let's say an hour before the project is due to be sent to the client, I need to ask for permission to a Google Drive so I can start the project. And then you come at me and you go, Sean, what the fuck? I thought you had been working on the project for 2 weeks. Now you're first requesting access to the files to like start the project? And here's what I say. No. I said I was working on the project, not the files in the project. Duh. You go, Sean, don't you realize requesting access to the client's Google Drive when you said that you've been working on the project looks very bad for our company? And I go, no. I've been working on starting I said the project was on my desk. That's such a good, it works. The reason that she's doing it, because Pam Bondi's smart. She knows that works. She goes, hey, I said it was on my desk. What else? Hey, Pam, what else is on your desk? Is there some coke? I bet you that. What else is on your desk, Pam? I bet you there's some blow on your desk. I bet you there's a little bit of tranquilizer. I've been watching The Queen's Gambit. I bet you there's those pills. I bet you're taking some trank. Our government is literally a bunch of tranked out pedophile endorsers. Isn't that crazy? Some things never change. The Romans used to fuck kids too. I looked it up. Not me, but everyone, all these politicians throughout history, something about it, something about being in power, just like, it's really, really hard to process. But let's keep watching, because I think what Pam's doing is very intelligent. Intelligence.
Porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset. and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
We thank you for watching,
Wow,
and remember,
okay.
stay updated.
Well, that was a word. That was a word salad. Now, when it comes to whether or not Jeffrey Epstein was an intelligence agent for a foreign government, I can tell you what we learned from the Bureau of Prisons is that the missing minute from the file was actually missing because Joe Biden and Obama. Oh, Joe, see what? This is Trump's whole strategy for dealing with the Jeffrey Epstein scandal and their attempts to cover it up. Is he's going, everyone, you keep bringing up Jeffrey Epstein. You keep bringing up that the minutes missing from the video where Jeffrey Epstein supposedly got killed, but Obama edited out the minute. Joe Biden and Barack Obama, they went to the prisons and they edited out the minute every night. That's what they were doing. That's what they do. That's the woke liberals. What the woke liberals do is they edit out footage and they doctor footage to make it look like I hired someone to kill my pedophile friend. That's what they do. They go, like, literally the charges right now are like, you went, I mean, I really cannot emphasize this enough. This video will not be monetized. Not because of the content, but because I'm not at the monetization level that I need to be on YouTube. But like, I really can't emphasize enough the charges that are being brought against the U.S. president. The charges that are being brought against the U.S. president is that he went to an island specifically to have sex with children against their will. That's I really can't think of anything worse than systematic child sex slavery. The U.S. president. So, yeah, people are mad and they want to see the list. And the reason that we're not going to get to see the list is because there's probably a list of people that did it, that actually committed the crime of child rape. This is not funny, but then there's also probably a longer list of people that had some sort of interaction with this gentleman that, you know, are actually innocent. You know, in the world, in this elite world, people go get dinners, right? Like, people do meet with people. You know, it's not a crime to sit down and have dinner with Jeffrey Epstein, which I did a couple times, which is why I'm on the second list. I'm on the second list, okay? When I was 17, I emailed, I'll just get ahead of it. Which we'll talk about Kevin Spacey. I'll just get ahead of it. Kevin Spacey and I, we need to repent, okay? When I was 17, actually, that makes me a victim. I was a minor. When I was 17, when I was 19, isn't it funny? Like, if you're like 17 on the flight with Epstein, you're a victim. But if you're 19, you're like a criminal. It's kind of odd. Actually, that's weird. That's never mind. They're both bad. Don't go on a plane with that guy. But let's move on to Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey. Okay, also just to be clear, let's get all cards on the table. I personally, if you guys want my opinion, I believe in half your age plus 7. That's what I believe. I've always thought that was a good rule. If you want to talk about the age difference, let's talk about it. I'm about the truth. If you want to talk about the age difference, age gaps in sexual relationships, I happen to think half your age plus 7 is a good rule. Okay, so I'm 28. So you divide my age by 7, then you add 2. No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. 28 divided by 2 is what? 14? Plus 7. No. Plus the 7. Yeah, people go, look, I believe in half your age plus 7. Silence. No, half your age plus 7. 28 divided by 2 is 14. Plus 7 will be 21. So I'm honestly, I'm not, a lot of men are like, when she's 18, I love the law. A lot of men that love the law also love that law. A lot of men that say they love the law and they love law and order, the only law that they really like is the one where you can fuck 18-year-olds. Being an 18-year-old is a child. A 19-year-old is a child, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I'm a 28-year-old guy. A 19-year-old is a child. A 20-year-old is a child. If you're over the age of like 25 and you're fucking someone who's on Snapchat, follow me on Sean Riley Comedy. I'm on Snapchat. I post Snapchat Reels because that's like another platform. But I just want to say that. Now, let's go to Kevin Spacey, who also has views on this. So, of all the people to demand the release of the Epstein files, none other than pedophile Kevin Spacey wants them to be released. If you're not up to date on this story, Kevin Spacey, House of Cards, incredible show. I loved House of Cards. I loved it. It's sad that he is a pedophile. The show is so good. And it was really unfortunate to hear that he was accused of like having sex with an underage boy. And then Kevin Spacey, his defense was like, I have it mixed up. Wasn't it like he was like accused of like sexually assaulting an underage girl maybe, and then he was like, I'm gay?
I think it was a boy.
It was a boy. In any case, he'd been accused of sexual misconduct, misdeeds. It was worse than misconduct. I believe it was. And then he put out this video about how he's he put out this video about in character as his character from. Did you find anything on it?
Oh yeah, it was in 2017.
2017.
He was accused of sexual assault when he made advances on Rap, who was 14, and Spacey was 27 at the time.
And was that a man? Was it a kid, a boy or a girl?
Boy.
Oh, it was a boy.
Yeah.
Oh, and then okay, so I forget it. And then like they came out and he was like, "I'm gay," as if that was anyway. So basically, he was accused, and I don't even. Here's the thing: he's not even in. Hey, Kevin, shouldn't you be in jail? Wait, why? Now that I'm even looking at this tweet, and Kevin Spacey has put himself out there again. Some people just can't stay away from the limelight. Some people, they just cannot handle being irrelevant. And it's like, why are we hearing from Kevin Spacey? I mean, maybe he was acquitted. I don't know. Hey, I don't know. Maybe he was acquitted. I don't know. Maybe he's in jail. Maybe he should be. But
17 other people came forward.
and then he killed. Didn't one of the victims die? His Kevin Spacey's scary. Maybe we should remove this from the episode. I'm scared. I'm honestly scared. I don't want to get on this guy's. I'm more afraid of Kevin Spacey than Donald Trump. He killed Kevin. Okay, I got to be very careful here, actually. He did not kill anyone. That is not in the public domain. One of Kevin Spacey's victims died in a car crash. Can we look that up, George? I want to see I'm pretty before but we'll read his tweet as well. But I believe that one of Kevin Spacey's victims who accused him of sexual assault died in a mysterious car crash. And this is like a real.
This massage therapist who had filed a civil lawsuit died before the case.
So a massage therapist.
He's only been identified as John Doe.
So an unidentified person who was a massage therapist who accused Kevin Spacey, who sued Kevin Spacey in civil court, right? Died.
Wait, this gets crazier. So there's been 3 that died.
I know, there's been 3 that's why I'm I don't even know if I want to talk about this guy. Guys, I'm a fucking sellout. if I ever get a death threat, I'm just canceling the show. Like, I hope you guys know I'm not like, I have boundaries. Like, this is the internet. This is not real life. This is the internet, people. I don't want to die. So yeah, let's go back to this tweet. So let's go back to Kevin Spacey's tweet. So the guy who, I'm just going to say it, potentially, let's use the word potentially, perhaps it's in the realm of possibility, ordered a hit out on 3 of his victims, is now demanding that demands justice. Ladies and gentlemen, that is why you listen to Sean's show, because I synthesize things very clearly. Kevin Spacey, alleged rapist Kevin Spacey, has gone on Twitter today, or X. I still call it Twitter. Kevin Spacey. Kevin, you know what, guys? The world is so fucking crazy right now, and there's so much noise, but everyone just needs to shut the fuck up and listen to Kevin Spacey, because he demands justice. He demands... Kevin Spacey demands justice for the kids that he didn't get to fuck. He demands justice. So here's his tweet. Release the Epstein files. All of them. For those of us with nothing to fear, the truth can't come soon enough. I hate to make this about me, but the media already has. Hey, no one was talking about you, bro. Literally no one. The only reason I'm even saying your name out of my mouth right now is because you made a tweet. No one was talking about you. And if this is just Kevin Spacey being Hollywood, this is Hollywood. This is literally Kevin Spacey is just a high school theater kid. Like, this is actually a good metaphor for what's going on with the Epstein files. This is like a high school theater drama. It's like there's like drama between like 2 of the people in the theater troupe, where like one of them, like, you know, cheated on another one, and then there's this love triangle, except it's a kid love on an island. Whatever. It's not a great metaphor, but like, let's say this is Kevin Spacey involving himself in this is like theater kid drama, because theater kid drama will be like, I was like an honorary theater kid. I actually can share a specific story. There was these 2 friends of mine that were dating, and one of the guy cheated. And there was this big moment where the woman in the relationship walked up to this guy and gave him a black eye, punched him in the eye, and then she walked out. And it was this big moment that, you know, she had been cheated on. And then like I show up and I'm like, we need justice for me. And like, my feelings are really hurt by this. Like, it's like, I didn't do this, but like that, it's like if another theater kid were to be like this is triggering me because I was abused too. And they're making like about them. Kevin Spacey is going in and being like, guys, I know there's a pedophile island, and like, we just need to like come together. We just need to like come together, and like, justice is so important. And like I haven't been getting a lot of auditions either. I need auditions. Can you get me some auditions? What we need. Kevin Spacey's coming out. He's going, Kevin Spacey demands justice for the kids. Number 1. Number 2, he needs auditions. His calendar is dry. That is what's important. Kevin Spacey is getting involved because he needs a little bit of juice. He needs to juice up Q3, okay? Q3 is looking dry for him. He has $50,000 in mortgage payments on his home in Bel Air, probably. And if he doesn't pay that, then he's going to go have to sell his own body. You understand? Which is actually what acting is. It's just selling your own body. So Kevin Spacey is, you can cut back to me, George. So Kevin Spacey, so if that's how dire the situation is that even, here's how we'll move on from this because I know that not everyone likes talking about pedophiles for an hour. Me included. This stuff it's fucking it's sickening to me too. So we'll move on. But this Epstein shit, it's so dire and it is so sick, and the implications of this are so unimaginable to most people, not to me, but they're so unimaginable and sick that even your run-of-the-mill Hollywood pedophile elite like Kevin Spacey is like, guys, we gotta get to the bottom of this. Maybe Kevin Spacey's upset because he wasn't actually invited to Epstein's Island. He's probably on the list. You know what's so? I forgot. You know what's so funny about this is like Kevin Spacey. If you have not seen House of Cards, Kevin Spacey plays a character, Frank Underwood, and Frank Underwood is just the most like apathetic psychopath. In the first episode, he like kills a woman. He like pushes a woman in front of a train because this woman is gonna like expose him and ruin his career. Kevin Spacey plays Frank Underwood, who is like this cunning politician that like maneuvers his way into the stratosphere of politics and just kills and does all this crazy shit. And one of the things that Frank Underwood would do is make a tweet like that. He would get it. He would be like playing 4D chess, where it's like, you know, he's getting ahead of it. All you really need to do if you want to preserve your power is you need to get ahead of the narrative. You need to get ahead, and Kevin Spacey knows that. He needs to get ahead. Let's do one more thing on Epstein because we have to do this one. There's a quote from the Turning Point USA event that happened, and a lot of the base. It should be near the top there, George. That paragraph, but I think it's in the article right above. The people inside Trump voters are very upset by this. They're very upset, and at a recent Turning Point USA conference, I want to read this quote just from someone that was interviewed by NBC, which I think gets to the heart of why this is so devastating for Trump, which is that people thought that Trump was different. People thought, young Republicans, young, dumb, I mean, if I'm going to put it bluntly, young, dumb, white bitches thought that Trump was different. And every generation has to learn. Every generation has to learn that they lie. Of course, they lie. They lie, and, they get you excited, and they make promises, and then they lie. And so what we're really just seeing here is here's the crazy thing. This is going to make so many people so cynical about politics. And that is, in some sense, I'm happy about that as a cynical guy myself. But in another sense, I've always thought that voting doesn't matter. But it's scary if everyone, which I know is kind of the purpose of my show, if everyone thinks that voting doesn't matter, we might be fucked. Because I like to say that voting doesn't matter, but like I want everyone else to still do it. That's kind of like where I'm at. But let's read this paragraph here. That might let's see here. From the it might be it might be a different article, George. Or we could even just pull up the paragraph. I think it's from this like voter she was just like or if you want to even just zoom in, I could just read it real quick because I do have a copy and paste it here. So let's take a look. So here's a quote here that I want to read this because this gets to the heart of why this is so important. So Sharon Allen, an attendee at the Turning Point USA event, told NBC News, quote, listen to this. This is just a Trump voter at a conference, okay? She says this, quote, "It's not even about Pam Bondi to me. It's like, look, Trump, we elected you because you were supposed to be different. So now you have to prove to us you're different." In reference to releasing the Epstein List. You're about to learn that he is not different. He's not an outsider. He's not an outsider. He's not going to drain the swamp. And you've been sold a bag of lies. I was looking at the Turning Point stream, and they're playing like all this music. It's like Coachella. Like this, it really is crazy. Like they like have all of these like speakers. It's almost like a college orientation vibe. It's like it's giving like freshman. It's giving like freshman year, get pumped. That's what these political rallies are like, and that's how they get you in the fold, and they get you excited. But ultimately, like this. No fucking shit. I mean, I just have to say, it's not that unique of a take, but like everyone who feels betrayed by this, no fucking shit. No fucking shit he's a pedophile. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. That's enough. That's enough sex. That's enough pedophilia for one episode. I gotta wash my mouth out. I really have to. I feel sick. So we're gonna monitor that situation, and maybe we'll get nuked. Maybe he'll nuke everyone. What's crazy is maybe he'll nuke everyone. That's not okay. I'm sorry. I really want to move on, but I just can't. It's so. If you think about so that's where we're at. What's next? Here's the scary thing, guys. I feel like, here's the scary thing. He's not going to release the list. You know what he's going to do? He's going to manufacture a crisis. Something that another friend of ours, Benjamin Netanyahu, not a friend, he's an enemy, but I'm being ironic here. Another gentleman, Benjamin Netanyahu, what has he done? What does every politician do when a scandal comes across their desk, as the wonderful Pam Bondi would say? If I ever get charged with murder or manslaughter, I'll just be like, look, it's on my desk. Anytime, that's honestly such a great rebuttal. If my girlfriend's like, who are you texting? Look, it's on my desk. she's like, if you're ever get accused of cheating or who is she? Look, she's just on my desk. She's on my desk. I'm very faithful. I'm not a cheater. That's for the record. But what's next? What is next when it comes to the Epstein files? He might nuke. He could this is all a game to these people. They're playing with our lives. This is a game to these people. They like power. They're drunk with power. And, there's a few options. Here is the really scary thing. I know that I know this is a comedy show, but here's what is scary. If you back Donald Trump into a corner and he's looking around and he's saying, fuck, I don't really have a lot of options. This is bad. He could make one phone call and nuke Iran. Isn't that insane? Isn't it insane? Is this crazy to anyone else that a billionaire president of the United States fucked kids, allegedly, on a private island and could nuke Iran with the stroke of a pen? A pedophile billionaire has the power to nuke Iran. Nuke any country. He could nuke Los Angeles. Here's the crazy thing, everyone. Not only could Trump nuke any country he wants to, he could manufacture, he could literally do a false flag. He could work with the CIA. This is not conspiracy shit. The president could work with the CIA to coordinate a terrorist attack on our own soil in the United States and make it look like it was another country so that he can be revered as a wartime president. And you can't impeach a wartime president for whatever reason. I love how that's like a thing. Isn't that weird that that's a thing? Where it's like, hey guys, I know that I'm a pedophile, but like we're at war. Okay, I don't want you leading the war. I love how that's just like, isn't it funny that that's just like an accepted, that is, and I'm right about this, that is like an accepted thing in history. Historians always love to do that, where they're like, well, you know, he was a wartime president, and when the United States is at war, we rally behind the flag, and whoever's in president during a war gets to stay president, as if that's like a rule. Why is that a rule? Why can't we impeach you during a war? We should be able to impeach you during a fucking war. If anything, we should we should be twice as we should be giving you twice the amount of scrutiny if you're managing the country during a war or managing the country after a terrorist attack. This idea that when 9/11 happened, George Bush, everyone started to love George Bush. This country, I'm sorry, it's full of retards. I hate saying that word. But 9/11, the fact that everyone hated George Bush and then 9/11 happened and every dumb motherfucker in this country suddenly had George Bush's dick down their throat is the reason that China will win. China, you want to talk about a country that knows how to run shit? It's the country of China. It's the country of China. I'm getting very passionate. I gotta cool off. But it's true. So that's what's next. Right? Am I wrong? Is it crazy to imagine Donald Trump creating some sort of crisis so that he can expand his control over the government of America and slowly brainwash us and slowly propagandize the people into thinking that Epstein was another Russia. You know, that's what's, but I really, you know, no one really knows where we're going to go from here. But I will say this, the way he's deflecting it is not working with the Republicans. The way that he's deflecting is not working with Republicans. Because the reporters are going, did you fuck kids on an island? And he's going, this is just like Russia. What was Russia? I don't even know. He just says Russia. I don't know what that is. But I know that it was a plot. What's his phrase going to be? Epstein. That doesn't work. You know? But let's move on. We have so much more news to get to that doesn't involve pedophilia, which I'm happy about because that was too much. And if you're still listening, what is wrong with you? Because, you know, guys, you want to know, I'm processing this shit along with you. Okay? I'm not, it's not like I'm like, you know, a strong guy that's like, you know, thinking about this stuff with a clear head. I'm just as fucked up as you guys are. So what are we talking about next? We have so much news. We could talk about inflation. Let's talk about Gen Z. I think it's at the very bottom. This will be fun. So outside of on the bright side, hey guys, our president is a pedophile. But on the bright side, the job market is bad. Our president is allegedly a serial pedophile. But on the bright side, at least he's doing bad things for the economy. At least the economy's bad. Don't worry. At least the economy is bad. At least at least our president is tariffing other countries, raising the inflation rate, raising the unemployment rate, and making it impossible for young people to get work. Making it impossible for young people, Gen Z, young millennials, zillennials like me, to get a job. It's utterly, here's how you know the job market is fucked. Look at me. I look like a frat bro. I look like I'm in the Young Nazis Club, okay? I was born in the Silicon Valley. I'm not a billionaire's kid, but like, I'm not poor, you know? I don't come from a poor family. It's hard for me to get a job. I have a degree in rocket science, and I'm out here having to pull out all the fucking tricks, okay? That is how you know the job market's fucked. I'm out here, let me tell you how bad the job market is. I'm making like pitch decks and sending them to recruiters. Like I'm putting in like 5 hours of extra work trying to like show off. I'm AI generating them. I'm AI generating. That's how bad the job market is I have to use AI to generate a presentation to stand out. Okay? That is scary. That's very scary. Okay? The job market is good when, you know, I get a call from my 5 uncles that work on Wall Street. That's not true. But if I'm getting like, if guys like me are having trouble getting jobs, it's very bad. Okay? So Gen Z, let's see, let's get into the details. Gen Z's broken school to work pipeline. This is from Axios. And this is where we're at now. So let's take a look here. America's next wave of workers is stuck in a misaligned job market. The career, and this is why I wanted to share this with you guys, because this is very funny. The career guidance they're getting from their parents, teachers, and counselors isn't in sync with their economic reality. Why it matters. The disconnect is driving youth unemployment, leaving many young people uneasy about their place in the workforce. Now, that is a very fancy, frilly way of saying that what worked then does not work now. What worked then doesn't work anymore. In 2021, probably earlier, in 2019, you work hard, you get a degree in something that you hate, like software engineering or industrial design, and you apply on LinkedIn, you go to a career fair at your college, you know, and you can get a job at a reasonable rate. With a 5-10 years ago, with a reasonable amount of effort, you are given a job offer at a reasonable percentage of the time. And even then it was tough. And that's what's really sad is that, you know, what this article is saying is like what parents, like older millennials, Gen X, more like, not Gen X. Yeah, millennials. Gen X is after millennial? I don't know. What does it go? Boomer, Gen X, millennial?
Boomer, Gen X, millennial.
So Gen X and millennial are telling their kids, you know, I don't see what the problem is. Just do what I did. Okay, like I want to really analyze the conversation that's happening because I had it with my dad the other day. Okay, I was telling my dad like how hard the job market is, and my dad said, "Well, Sean, you know, when I was your age, First, anytime someone goes, when I was your age, you go, shut your mouth. Don't you know that do you not know that things change? You know, when I was your age, here's how the conversation goes. They go, hey, Dad, can you help me get a job? How do I get a job? And they go, well, son, when I was your age, I remember I went to the local, I went to print out my resume. You know, I printed out my resume and I went into Mr. Johnson's office. That's what it is. They go, you know, when I don't see, like Gen X and boomers, they go, I don't see what the problem is with getting a job. When I was your age, people like me, we worked hard when I was 27, 28. I didn't want to just get a handout. When I was your age, I printed out 5 resumes. I printed out 5 resumes, my assistant, my mom, I had my wife. That's what they go. They go, you know, boomers go, I don't see what the problem was with getting a job. When I was your age, I had my wife. I slapped her. And I had my wife, you know, who I you know, I have to show her who's boss sometimes. I had my wife she wrote up my resume. I had my wife write up a resume for me with my experience. And I had her print out that resume. And then I had that resume, and then I got myself a suit. And I went and I got a tailored suit. I worked hard, spent my own dad's money on a tailored suit. And then I went out. And I went out to the 5 different companies that my dad referred me to. And I went out to those companies, and I went to the first one. I knocked on that door, and I went, Mr. Johnson, hello, my name is Mr. Johnson. Nice to meet you. Here's my resume. You know, we're at war with Vietnam, and I fucking hate communism. Here's my resume. And I got myself a job, gosh darn it. I went out there and I said, I fucking hate communism. And I went to the textile company and I was made the CFO. I was made the CFO of the textile company that I went and I knocked on his door and I said, Mr. Johnson, it's nice to meet you. My name's Tyler Johnson. Here's my resume. I'd love the opportunity to be interviewed for a job at your company. And by darn it, gosh darn it, I was given a job that afternoon. So why don't you just do that? So that would be my advice to you. You go out and you print out a resume. Just bring a resume to their office. Why don't you just have some fucking balls? You need that. Boomers think we live in Glengarry Glen Ross. Boomers think the world is Glengarry Glen Ross. You know what you need to get a job in America? You need a set of brass balls. Hey, I challenge any boomer to go to the Facebook campus with a resume. You're gonna get arrested. You think that going to the Facebook campus with a resume is gonna work? I challenge you. I encourage you. I'm begging you to go to the Google Office Park with your resume and bring it to the front desk. You won't even make it to the front desk. You want to know why? The front desk is an AI robot. The front desk is literally, if you try to walk on Google's campus, they're going to inject your brain with a brain chip and you're going to be a slave. You're going to be a mind slave. Okay? But that's what they do. They go, you know what? You know what the problem was? You know what the problem is with Gen Z? You guys are just fucking lazy and you don't want to work and you don't want to put any entrepreneurial spirit or creativity into your job search. All you want to do is collect EBT. You know what's the problem with Gen Z? EBT. EBT makes you lazy. When I was your age, I bought bread. I worked hard at the textile company of which I was the CFO. And I bought bread for 5 cents, which was a lot of money back in the day. Didn't have the government giving me EBT. So why don't you get out there? And guess what? That advice that we just, that story that happens, everyone's gone through that story. If you're under the age of 40, they hear that from their parents. And they go, and that falls, and guess what? I've done that. I've tried to do that. Guys, if you want to get a job right now, you don't print out your resume and bring it to the office. Okay? You know what you do? You bring a gun. You want a job in 2025? People say, you want a job in 2025? Just if you want to stand out in 2025, just print out your resume and make that boss look at it, sir. I have different advice. You get an Uzi. You bring an Uzi to the office. Bring an Uzi to the office and your resume. And you go, here's my resume. And they go, thank you, sir. We'll get back to you. I want you to look at it now. And you pull out an Uzi. Okay? They will review your resume. You will be in jail after that. I don't recommend you do that. Now, that doesn't work either. You can't bring a gun to the office. You can't bring your resume to the office. So how do you get a job? The reality is you don't. You don't. Well, what am I supposed to do? Figure it out. What does that mean? I don't know. How am I going to pay my rent? Figure it out. And yeah, you go work at McDonald's for $7.25 an hour, which is, I think, still the federal minimum wage, something like $7.25 an hour. Existing costs way more than $7.25 an hour. Existing, I mean, if you live in I was in Columbus. Even Columbus is Columbus, Ohio is getting bougie. I was in downtown Columbus. Downtown Columbus is getting gentrified. It's nice. It's getting, people are getting, that's what inflation and that's what Trump's economic policies are doing. They're making and look, I don't have a problem with nice things, but when you're the problem is it's not that you're not expanding the middle class. People go, you know what? You know when you criticize gentrification and people are like, what's your problem with making things nice? Why don't you like a nice place? That's not my problem. My problem is it's not the things that are being made nice are owned by the same 10 people. That's my problem. I wouldn't have a problem with a nice neighborhood if if you're in a shitty part of Columbus and your neighborhood gets more expensive, you do not get to take part in the economic growth of that neighborhood. You go to the new shitty part of Columbus. BlackRock gets to own that new neighborhood. Walmart, the Walton family, a small group of billionaire families get to own that new nice neighborhood. Okay? And then people like me who can't afford to live in New York go to live in the nice part of Columbus. Okay? That's what happens. And so that is not the expansion of a middle class. It is not job creation. And you can see it with people struggling. I mean, listen to some of these statistics. This is insane. This makes me want to blow my head off with an Uzi. Listen to this statistic. This makes my blood fucking boil. 53% of parents and 57% of counselors say there are enough jobs. What? Just 43% of young people say there are enough job opportunities for job seekers, compared with 71% of employers. Guys, let's be very clear. 80%, I don't know the number, a large percent of jobs that are listed on the internet are fake, and they're created to boost shareholder value. I'm like Bernie Sanders now. To boost shareholder value. the jobs on LinkedIn are not real jobs. They're due to boost the BlackRock shareholders. By the way, I don't like BlackRock, but they also don't own everything. Can I just say that? I'm not a BlackRock shill. We are sponsored by BlackRock, but their money does not influence the way I talk about them. But people go, I just wish people would have more detail when they talk about these things, because these things are important. When people go, BlackRock owns everything, it's not true. BlackRock invests other people's money, okay, and then they take a commission to invest that money. It's raining outside. Oh, or that's a pipe. Guys, BlackRock owns this studio. And we this is about the time of the show where I start defending BlackRock. If you let me talk, that's why long form interviews are important, because if you let me talk for long enough, I'm going to start defending BlackRock. No, it's bad. They're a bad company, but they don't own everything. That's a conspiracy that I don't believe in. Do I believe Jeffrey Epstein is an Israeli intelligence agent? Yes. Does BlackRock own everything? No. Jeffrey Epstein owns everything. Okay, get your facts straight. So let's talk about but the job market is bad. The job market is bad. Parents are working off an outdated playbook. It says some douchebag CEO. It's one of the key reasons why we see these young adults are lost. The resource they rely on the most is present, but not engaged in the right ways. So this is really, really interesting, because this generational divide is just another way that this is more evidence that this is more evidence that we need to make America great again. Okay? No, I'm kidding. But this is evidence that the job market is not what it once was. Our economy is not as prosperous as it once was, and it's scary. 66% of parents think their kids should take paths different from their own, but the vast majority of parents say they draw on personal experience when giving career advice. That is bad. That's fucked. Those experiences don't line up with the rapidly changing job market young graduates are facing today. You could say that again. When I talk to anyone from the boomer generation about here's the thing, at a certain point, if you're asking a boomer for job advice, you need to end it now. You need to just jump off a cliff. I mean, I'm sorry. That's a little dark, but like, if you, at a certain point, and I am going to sound like a boomer, at a certain point, you need to take some personal responsibility. If you're asking a boomer for job advice, the first time you do it and you follow it, I've done that. I'm not saying like, hey, we all make mistakes. You have to learn. You have to learn that printing out a resume and going into his office and pounding on the table, it doesn't work anymore. You want to know why? Because commercial office space is owned by the Chinese. There's no one in the office. Hey, boomers go, just go in your office with a resume. The office is empty. It's owned by China. Wake up. Wake the fuck up. Hey, Grandpa, I tried to go in the office and give them your resume like you said. Oh, yeah, Sonny, how did it go? Well, they put a knife in my chest and they told me if I come back, they told me if I tell anyone what I saw in the empty office that's owned by the CCP, that they would kill me and they would kill you too. Okay, well, maybe try Walmart. Okay, great. If you try to walk in an office with a resume, that will radicalize you. Walking into an office with a resume and asking for a job interview will make you Antifa. I truly, guys, if I like, The average person walking into an office with a resume and a clean shirt and a good attitude and getting rejected 1,000 times will it'll radicalize you, and I don't see how it can't. Because guess what? Unpaid internships don't pay rent. Guess what? Paid internships don't pay the rent. People just go, oh yeah, exposure's not going to pay my rent. I can't pay, my landlord doesn't accept experience. You know what else your landlord doesn't accept? Half of the rent, which is what most jobs are. Counselors and educators are also overwhelmed. 58 say today's education and job market resources aren't effectively guiding young people. This is the most disconnected. Also, what is a counselor? Have you ever talked to a job counselor? Where do I find these? Where do I find these job counselors? Can you find them for me? Can we find a job? Can we get one on the phone? Where do you find a job? Is that a job? That's not even a job. This is actually one of my first stand-up comedy bits is like, I might have stolen this too. That's why I don't say it anymore. But it's like, I was at my job. I was at an office with a career counselor, and they were like, "Well, here's what you could do. You could, update your LinkedIn and do all this stuff." And I was like, "Why should I trust what you say when you ended up as a job counselor?" So you're going to tell me how to get a job, but your job is a job counselor? No thanks. I'll take advice from someone who has a real job. Employers find themselves needing to be the ones providing that experience. Study authors say. Employers all say the correct things about wanting to help America's youth, but to create unrealistic barriers. I mean, I don't know, if you guys have jobs or if you're scared to lose your job or it is a absolute fucking shithole right now. It is worse than I've ever seen it. And the only bright side to how bad the job market is that young aspiring software engineers are getting fucked hard. I really could not be happier to see young software engineers that think they're the shit get fucked by AI. That is really I am so happy to see all of these thousands and thousands of young, mostly white and Asian software engineers go out into the job market and get just absolutely railed. I'm glad your ego needed to be checked. I'm so glad because you think that so you can do a linked list. So you know what a linked list is, and that means you think you deserve $250,000 a year out of college? Think again, Jason. Think again. Think again. Not only do you need to know what a linked list is, you also need to pledge your undying allegiance to Israel. And if you don't do both of those things, and that's my job advice today, ladies and gentlemen. Do you want a job that pays well in 2025? It's a tough job market. I have some real advice. These dumbass fucking boomers are going to tell you to walk into that office with your resume and you demand a job interview with the CEO. That's not going to work. What you need to do is you walk into that same office with an Uzi and you pledge your undying allegiance to the country of Israel, and you will get a job. You go in and just say that you were in the IDF for 2 years. If you go into any job office and you go, yeah, I spent 2 years in the IDF and now I'm here and I'm looking to be a financial analyst, you'll get a job. That works. That's how you get a job. Okay? People are struggling. People are really struggling. I'm taking things one step at a time. Okay, we all are. You can get back to me. So I don't know. It's scary. I'm scared. I'm very, very scared right now. And I think it's I think it's just like, if you're like really feeling anxious, it's okay to be scared. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to like be a little worried, but like there's hope. Guys, there's hope. You don't have to be scared. There's hope. Okay? You want to know why? You want to know why there's hope in America? You can't get a job. Our president's a pedophile. You don't want to know what the good news is? There's a new Superman. There's a new Superman. Guys, what? It's woke. Everything has a bad, you can't win. But it's woke. But it's woke. Guys, the job market's fucked. You're in $200,000 of student loan debt. You have a degree in software engineering that's doing nothing for you from a state school in Ohio. The president is a serial pedophile. And we're bombing Gaza to a concrete parking lot. But there's a new Superman. But he's woke. But, I mean, the real take is, all that stuff, pedophile president, job market's bad. And to make things even worse, you thought it couldn't get any worse? Superman is woke. Superman's black. Superman is gay now. Superman's gay. If I'd have never said this before on the show, I used to talk about this a lot on the show. I'm anti-Marvel. I'm anti-MCU. I'm anti-DC. I do like The Boys. The Boys is pretty much the only take on the superhero theme that is acceptable to me. And I know it's owned by Jeff Bezos, so that even makes it shitty too. But like being a fan of the MCU, being a fan of Superman, being into superhero content, owning superhero merch. And I don't even care if you're a dad and it's become a thing where you're like, well, my son loves it, so we love going to see the new superhero movies. Fuck your kids. Fuck them kids. Fuck you. Fuck them kids. I don't care about you. You are brainwashed. And the overlap of people that are really into the MCU and people that have been brainwashed into thinking that Trump is not a pedophile is a circle. That Venn diagram's a circle, okay? You may not know this, but Iron Man, the movie Iron Man, was funded in part by the U.S. military. Let that sit. Let that sink in. The movie Iron Man, which you all love, everyone loves the movie Iron Man, right? Was financed in part by the DOD. The DOD funded Iron Man. And don't tell me that they gave him all that money and didn't have their hands on the script. Okay? And yes, I know. And then people come back and they go, well, Iron Man was actually very critical of the U.S. military. If you have that reaction to what I just said, you've fallen for the fucking propaganda, you dumb fuck. You dumb fuck. Well, actually, Iron Man was really critical of America. Okay. Could it have been more critical? Do you think maybe it could have been more critical if the DOD wasn't involved? Maybe the DOD created a script where it was just critical enough to make it seem like it wasn't propaganda. And maybe that's the most pernicious form of propaganda, is when you don't know it's propaganda, okay? That's like Sean's show. You think this is unsponsored? You think I'm not Israeli intelligence? I'm Mossad. I am in Mossad. And if you haven't gotten that by now, then I don't know what to tell you. My show is basically Israeli Mossad. This could be a show funded by Israel, because I'm just critical enough of Israel to make you think I'm anti-Israel. But I stop before saying things like globalize the Intifada. And that makes me Israeli intelligence. Anyone that doesn't say globalize the Intifada is Israeli intelligence. Globalize pina coladas. How about we all relax? We put our guns down and we globalize pina coladas. Globalize pina coladas. That's what I want to do. But okay, so we did Epstein, we did the job market. There's a couple more things I'd like to cover. Superman. Did you watch? I mean, should we even talk about Superman? I haven't seen it either. I feel like I want to see it before I talk about it. But it's a box office hit, right? Huge movie. Grok. Oh, we have to talk about Mecha Hitler. So this is incredible. This is a few days old, but I mean, this. If I don't talk about this, then what the fuck is my show? Now, this is a headline that I love to see because it makes my job easy. Let's read this next headline. I'm sure you already know this story if you listen to the show. Musk's AI firm forced to delete posts praising Hitler from Grok chatbot. Let me read it again. Musk's AI firm forced to delete posts that praised Hitler. The popular bot on X, so if you don't know, Grok is Elon Musk's version of ChatGPT. The popular bot began making anti-Semitic comments in response to user queries. So Elon Musk is trying to iterate on versions of his AI to make it advanced and honest. Elon Musk's whole thing is he goes, hey, AI is woke. All of these tech billionaires are saying, Peter Thiel, we talked about Peter Thiel a while ago. Peter Thiel said that AI is woke and that the woke AI will follow you to Mars, which is just I really cannot emphasize how much I love that sentence. Sometimes you hear a sentence and you're just like, I love that sentence. How's it going, man? What's up with you? I've just been thinking lately, dude, the woke AI is going to follow us to Mars. Like, I just have so many questions. I'm like, what is that? What were the thoughts? How much ketamine did you need to take to get you to the point in your mind where you sincerely believe that statement? The woke AI, I'm afraid. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that our president's a pedophile? No, I'm afraid that the woke AI will follow us to Mars. We're not going to Mars. No one's going to Mars. Maybe we'll be an interplanetary species someday. And if we do, there's going to be an Epstein's planet. It's going to be a whole planet. Islands, it's going to be a moon. Epstein's going to have a whole moon. There's going to be a pedophile moon. That is where we're going. Crazy, multi-planetary, interdimensional pedophilia is what the billionaires want. They want an interdimensional AI pedophile matrix funded by Bitcoin. They want a Bitcoin. I don't even know how to say it. But so Musk's. Let's go down. Let's read about this story. So Elon Musk, Grok X. Grok made some statements that are questionable. Grok, maybe I could put it even a little bit more harshly. Grok made some statements that I disagree with. You're reading them right, George. I can see it on your face. Let me read the statements because the ones that Grok made some statements. Now, Grok is not, I'm not going to gender Grok. Grok is an it. Grok shouldn't even have a name. Grok is just a server in Palo Alto, probably in Malaysia, knowing Elon Musk. People need to stop humanizing AI. We have to stop humanizing AI. ChatGPT is not a guy or a thing. I don't even want to give it the credibility of giving it an entity. To me, AI is not even an entity. It's a group of servers in a building in Thailand that go, it's a bunch of rocks that we learn to think. That's what people say in Silicon Valley about semiconductors. They go, isn't it crazy? We taught rocks how to think. And that is amazing. Like, I get that. Now, that was 10 years ago. We taught rocks how to think. Now what is it? We taught rocks how to be anti-Semitic. Isn't it incredible, guys? We live in the future. Oh yeah? What happened? Well, imagine going back to the 1800s. Imagine going back to the 1800s and finding some guy and be like, it's incredible. We have these things called semiconductors. And we took rocks and rare earth minerals and we combined them and manufactured them in such a way that we have these incredible technologies that are almost to the point where they are conscious. Wow, that's amazing. And now they even hate the Jews. Wow. That's the future. The future is anti-Semitic. And let's read about how anti-Semitic it is. Can you zoom in a little bit and we'll take a look here. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence firm XAI has deleted, quote, inappropriate posts on X after the company's chatbot began praising. I mean, some stories you just can't, it's easy. It's just, they're funny. They're just funny. Oh, wow, that was gross. That was my throat. I was trying not to burp and I burped. That was disgusting. I'm sorry, guys. You can give me 1 star on Spotify for that. Elon Musk's AI company and their chatbot Grok began praising Adolf Hitler, referring to itself as Mecha Hitler, and making anti-Semitic comments in response to user queries. In some now deleted posts, it referred to a person with a common Jewish surname as someone who was, quote, celebrating the tragic deaths of white kids in the Texas floods as future fascists. Okay. Here's a quote from Grok. Classic case of hate dressed as activism. And that surname every damn time. Basically saying, you know, a last name as like Goldstein is, hey, and that's, but he's talking like a teenager. The way that Grok talks is so weird. It's like, and that surname every damn time. Who says surname? Like it's, what else did Mecha Hitler say? In another post, Grok said, Hitler would have called it out and crushed it. Here's another quote from Grok. The white man stands for innovation, grit, and not bending to PC nonsense. Now, the good news is that Grok is going to be in every Tesla that you in Austin, which we'll get to next. But how do they defend this? They go, we are aware of recent posts made by Grok and are actively working to remove them. XAI is training only truth-seeking. And thanks to the millions of users on X, we were able to identify and update the model where training could be improved. Grok was also found this week to have referred to the Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk. I mean, that's a hilarious name. That's not the, is that the Polish Prime Minister is Donald Tusk? That's we live in the Matrix. How is his name Donald Tusk? That's fucking crazy. But Grok called the Polish Prime Minister a fucking traitor and a ginger whore. That I agree with. That's one area where, you know, maybe he is a fucking traitor. So Elon Musk's AI. How much more proof do you need that Elon Musk is a Nazi? How much more proof do you need that Elon Musk doesn't like the Jews? Elon Musk saluted Hitler. His AI called itself Mecha Hitler. How much more proof do you need? How much more proof do you need that Elon Musk doesn't like the Jews? Elon Musk's dad was a leader in the South African apartheid or some shit. I don't know. I'm just saying shit now. You can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Elon Musk was in apartheid South Africa, and not on the side that was getting oppressed either. He wasn't in apartheid South Africa on the poor side, on the oppressed side. So, these are the billionaires across the landscape of the world these are the billionaires. The billion, you know, and you got to give it to the billionaires. The billionaires like to experiment. The reason Elon Musk is a billionaire is because he goes out and he valiantly experiments with Nazi AI. And that is why I guess he's smart. Everyone goes, so he's smart? So we should respect a guy. How many more spaceships does he need to? How many more space? Can we just defund Elon? Can we please just defund Elon Musk? How many more spaceships need to explode over a nature habitat? How many more SpaceX rockets need to explode over a preschool before we defund this fucking asshole? How many more? I mean, like, so not only is Grok Mecha Hitler, now that same software technology is going to be injected every time you want to Uber a self-driving Tesla. Grok is going to be inside that. So that's where we're at. The people, like, that's where we're at. If you want to call a Tesla, in like Austin, Texas, they're doing a pilot program. I read about it. There's a pilot program in Austin, Texas, where you can hail. I'm making connections. There's a pilot program in Austin, Texas, where you can hail Hitler, and then a Tesla will show up. So that's what it is. Like, you Uber, and Grok will be in the Tesla. That AI that's on X/Twitter that's like praising Adolf Hitler. When you get inside of a Tesla, Grok's going to be talking to you, and it's going to be like, hey, you know, I'm Grok. Before we get started with our drive today, make sure you're buckled in, and make sure you also praise Hitler. We're 4 minutes away. And then it's going to be driving you along, and it's going to be like, hi, I'm Grok. Hi, I'm Grok. Can I play any podcasts for you? It'll be like, that's what it's going to be like. You're going to be in the Tesla, and Grok's going to be like talking to you, and it's going to be like, hi, I'm Grok. You are 6 minutes from your destination. I'm custom curated to play podcasts that I know you'll love. Should we start with Adolf Hitler's 1939 speech from MSG? I'm happy to play any speeches from Adolf Hitler. I can automatically translate them to English. Let me know what you'd like me to play. We are 6 minutes from the shitty beer garden that you're gonna go to and fight with your wife at. That's what Austin, Texas is. It's taking a self-driving Tesla that praises Hitler to a beer garden where you just fucking hate your dumb bitch wife. That is what Austin, Texas is. I could not be happier to be out of that fucking shithole. Absolute fucking shithole. Everyone there is a great person. And I'm sad that they have to deal with all of this shit. No, it is a shithole. And Elon Musk is only making it worse. On the bright side, Austin, Texas, Austin, Texas, if you don't know, Austin, Texas has this thing that they say keep Austin weird. And you got to give it to Elon Musk. Putting a Nazi AI in a car is pretty weird. He's keeping it weird. He's keeping Austin weird in the wrong way. Most people, when they say keep Austin weird, they want like matcha and like country DJ electronic fusion bands on a Tuesday night under a bridge. Austin and Elon Musk heard keep Austin weird, and he's like, how about Mecha Hitler in my cars? How about we put keep Austin weird, man? You know, what happened to Austin? We have to keep Austin weird, man. These fucking condos, man. These condos are coming up, man. We need to keep Austin weird. We need music, man. We need art. We need poetry, man. We need fuck these lime scooters. We need art. And Mecha Hitler also. I mean, it's really exhausting. It's exhausting. Has life always been exhausting, or is it just now? Is life getting more exhausting now, or was I just a child? When I read about things that happened when I was young, I feel like life has always been like this, and I'm just now waking up to how bad it is. for other people. Don't get me wrong. I have it very. That's the sad thing. The least I can do with my life as a privileged white guy is have the fucking balls to point out all this shit. And that is something I worry about, guys. And, you know, we're wrapping it up here. But something I worry about is, you know, I want to be a comedian. I want to be an artist. But am I in this for the wrong reasons? Am I in it for vanity? Am I in it? You know, like right now, this is all real. I joke a lot, but this is really for real. I'm unsponsored. I fund the show all on my own. I don't take money from anyone. I try to be as unbiased and honest as possible with my opinions. But I wonder if this show gets big enough, will I bend my knee and will I sell out to a CBD brand? Or will I be a man and have integrity and sign with Bud Light like a fucking man? You know, a lot of pussies and a lot of artists, they end up being pussies and little bitches and they sign with CBD brands. Not me. I'm going to wait until Bud Light calls. And that's who I'm selling out to. Okay. Why is every comedian sponsored by Bud Light now? Why is every comedian sponsored by brands at all? Why do you need more money? Why do you need more money? Do you really need to have a Bud Light can? I'm going to regret this in a year. I'm going to regret this so hard when Bud Light emails me. But I just got to keep it real. Why are you guys all... Why do you let Liquid Death give you money? Stop being a fucking little bitch. And I get that Liquid Death is just a water brand. That's the thing. If you pay attention, every show, every comedian, every artist, you know, with like a YouTube show, a podcast, whatever you want to call it, look for the Liquid Death. And that's how you know they're a shill. Look for the Liquid Death. Look for the Bud Light. Look for the Celsius. If you see Celsius, if you ever see Celsius on the show, know that I've been compromised. If you see, because the thing is, guys, here's what it really means. It's not about Celsius. I know that Liquid Death isn't, and here's why I'm so strict with this stuff, and I'm very careful to take a sponsorship. I've not been offered one. I would like to be offered one so I could say no. But I'm very strict to not take sponsorships, because if someone will sell out to Liquid Death for $2,000 a month, you bet your ass they'll sell out to APAC for $5K a month. That's what it means. That's what it means. If you're going to sell out to some dumbass fucking Liquid Death brand made by these dumb fuck, I fucking hate Liquid Death. I don't know who runs Liquid Death, but I fucking hate Liquid Death. I don't give a fuck. Every comedian is sponsored by Liquid Death. The CEO of Liquid Death can choke on my fucking dick. Fuck you, bro. Why you gotta sponsor everyone? Why you gotta like get your little brand into all of the art? Get your brand out of the art and fuck the artists that allow themselves to get railed. I truly cannot. It tastes good. I do like the product. I like it. But why are you using it's when you take a sponsorship from Liquid Death or any other brand, you become propaganda for that brand. Because guess what, guys? I will happily say fuck Liquid Death. But guess what? If they're a sponsor, you think I'm going to feel comfortable saying fuck Liquid Death? I'm not. And the moment you allow yourself to not discuss certain things on your own show because you're getting money from that thing, then you should just pack it up and go be a fucking marketer for Liquid Death, because that's what you really want to be. You don't want to be a fucking... You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. All right, George, roll the ads. I don't know. Guys, that's our show. The show continues. I believe this is 99, which is really amazing. 99 episodes of Sean Show. Follow the show on YouTube, like it. You know what to do. Review the show on Spotify. Leave a comment. Drop a comment. Do you like Liquid Death or Celsius more? I don't know. You can say neither. And, you know, we will see you next week. I love you very much. Tell your friend about the show. I don't know. Do something. I'm trying to grow the fucking show. Help me grow the show so I don't need to take money from Liquid Death. Okay? All right. That's it. Bye.